Welcome back. And so let's take you back to what appears to be perhaps the most compelling political stories from yesterday, and it would in fact form talking points for much of the weekend. We showed it to you earlier on. President Bola Tinubu has brokered reconciliation between Minister of the FCT and former Governor of Rivers State, Wike, and his political godson, Wike-Fubara. And you see there handshakes between the President and Minister Wike, and of course between Minister Wike and his political godson as well. There seems to be a lot of camaraderie in the room. We also see there, well, I'm not quite sure about a lot of camaraderie, but you also see there suspended Governor Wike-Fubara shaking Speaker of the River State Assembly, the suspended State Assembly as well, Martin Amewili. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? Does this mean that the emergency rule in Rivers will be suspended earlier than we suspected? And, you know, how healthy does this look on the surface, this reconciliation? Well,
that's what I guess we're talking about in just a moment. So you can see, quite familiar with a couple of faces there. Some members of the House of Assembly, other politicians who were able to broker this peace. What the future holds, we don't know yet, whether the governor is going to defect eventually, whether they're going to allow the Ibokibas conduct the elections, so that it's not going to look like anybody conducted the election. The issue of indigenship is also a controversial issue. Yeah. Is it going to be called back before September? Because that's when this whole emergency rule and suspension of the State House of Assembly and him will end. We do not know. But these are early days. But these are good signs. These are good signs as far as reconciliation is concerned. We can debate all about the president's discretion or not, whether he has the powers, because we don't see it in the Constitution that he has the powers to suspend anybody. But whatever can restore peace, whatever peace we have now is a great one. We'll debate the law later. The law is in front of the Supreme Court. So we still stand on the fact that it doesn't have the power. The Supreme Court will decide that. But now we're seeing good signs of reconciliation.
So maybe let's just take you back to those images. So, I mean, you can't keep watching those images time and again just to try to analyze what is going on. I'll tell you this, guys. It's good to see. But, you know, in December 2023, we didn't just have handshakes. We didn't just have videos or pictures. We had people put pen to paper. They signed an agreement, and we don't know whether there's an agreement yet. Obviously, I have not seen anything. But you know, it's one thing to shake hands, to have a gentleman's agreement. It's another thing to put pen to paper and say, I agree to these points. So that happened in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our viewers, in 2025, that did not hold water. So as much as it is good to see them smiling, but these are politicians. If their signature didn't hold water, let's hope that these handshakes and all will hold water. But Bukola, we have someone to break this down for us another.
So let's bring in our guest this morning, and we have the former National Legal Advisor of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Mark Jacob, joining us from our Abuja studio. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Kade has a very, very valid point. There were agreements signed in 2023. How much will it hold? How much ease did you see in that room? And how will it impact on the future of River State going forward, whether or not the emergency rule is suspended in the short term or in September?
Just like one of your friends there has said, it's nice to see them smile and shake hands. But whether that will hold water, whether people will respect discussions and agreements like this, whether there will be a respect for the rule of law, which is the main issue that should be discussed. Because a situation where a democratic president removes a democratically elected governor is an aberration. And nobody should respect that. So that they have shaken hands and they are smiling doesn't change the fact that there is an illegality imposed on River State. And that is an aberration, and it's something that should never have happened in the first place. So for me, it's still drama, and we'll wait to see what comes out of it in the next few days. But it is terrible that it ever happened. There should never be a situation where democracy can be hijacked by a democratically elected president. It should not happen in Nigeria, particularly.
Okay, Mr. Mark, it has happened right now. This is where we are, and a lot of water now has gone under the bridge. When this happened, there was a lot of furor to constitutionality. In fact, there's a case in court. You're a lawyer. You know this thing better than us. And at the end of the day, we haven't seen the Supreme Court sit over it. The first time it went to the Supreme Court, they were a bit evasive. We're hoping they're going to sit on the merit of the matter at the end of this. But in going forward, as far as the issue of Rivers State is concerned, there is no guarantee that there may not be another spring of whatever crisis there is. What positioning do you think everybody should take as far as Rivers politics is concerned? On one hand, they're accusing you on Wike of trying to, hold as godfather for as long as he can hold. On the other hand, they're saying Wike-Fubara is too peaceful. Rivers, there's conflicting narrative here and there. But what is necessary to hold the peace for as long as it lasts, in your view?
Well, there is no alternative to the following the rule of law. The Constitution is very clear as to who is supposed to be in charge of Rivers politics, who is supposed to be the governor, who is supposed to call the shots. Now, the moment you start watering down or amending that without any legislation, you are going to have problems. If, for instance, all the issues we had concerning Rivers, that the arguments or the conflict came out of the personal instructions or desires of the former governor to have things done his way, unless the former governor changes his path and allows the current governor to rule and sit as sitting governor and execute the programs he has in mind, there are going to be problems. So it is not far-fetched. The solution is not far-fetched. Let everybody respect the rule of law. Let everybody go back to his position. The governor should be governor and should be allowed to be governor. The House of Assembly should be House of Assembly of Rivers State, not House of Assembly of an individual, maybe the former governor. A situation where members of the House of Assembly defect to a political party different from the one that elected them, and then they want to stranglehold the sitting governor, should not be an issue that should be allowed. Right. If you vacate your seat as a member of the House of Assembly, you should, if you leave your political party, you should vacate your seat. It's a simple thing. But you see, we have situations where people in Rivers State who denounced their political party came out to say they were only joking. And Nigerians should not allow such a thing to happen. The courts should not allow anybody to toy with the Constitution. You pronounce and dance on TV and declare that you have defected. Then when you are taken to court, you say no, that you didn't put it in writing. Publication and communication via television is valid communication. When you sing and dance that you have left the PDP and you are holding APC flag and you are dancing with it, that is sufficient departure from your political party. And the law should take its course. But you see, we are in a country where the law is selective. People do what they want and come to say that was not what they intended. And Nigeria is being taken for a ride by so many people. Right. So if Rivers is going to know peace, people must respect the rule of law.
Let me just quickly follow up with this one. I mean, we've seen that meeting, we've seen the previous ones, we've heard about private meetings and all of that. Do you feel embarrassed that an APC president is the one brokering peace between two people supposedly in the PDP, because these days you never know, but they're still card-carrying members of a PDP as far as we know. Is it embarrassing to watch for the PDP? Because this is meant to be a party affair. It's meant to be the leaders within the party that will broker peace. But you have someone from next door brokering peace in a family. Isn't it embarrassing to watch? And also, isn't it just a sign that they may as well be APC members at this rate? And I'm talking about the governor himself, Governor Fubara, and the FCT minister, and I think he hasn't hidden his affiliations anyway.
No, you and I know that Wike is an APC member. He has vowed to support the president, who is an APC person,
but
in the next election.
Yet.
And he's working tirelessly to ensure that no alternative candidate comes up from any other political party. And he has said so several times. So he's a member by conduct and by action. He's not in PDP. He has not attended PDP meetings where he's statutorily allowed to attend. He has refused to attend. But he's organizing all the meetings for APC, sponsoring all the APC activities.
I think he attended one with the governors recently, Mr. Jacob.
The governor, the governor may as well be APC because he needs the seats. So if they offer him that as an option, he will take it. Besides, I've seen people who had no problem, like the man in Akwa Ibom State. He had no problem with anybody, but he defected to APC. Also, for me, these governors are wonderful guys. They change. In the morning they are here, in the afternoon they are somewhere else. They are not really bothered about allegiance to any political party. It is what benefits them that is important. So if they dangle a carrot to similar Fubara and tell him to come over to APC so that he can reclaim his seat, I will not be shocked if he agrees. Because it's all about me. What will I gain?
All right, let's move away from that and hope for, stability in Rivers in the coming days. But let's go to other issues now, particularly has to do with the division in the party over the position of the National Secretary. The PDP Board of Trustees has spoken in a statement by your chairman, Adolphus Wabara. He's saying that the action of the acting national chairman is unconstitutional pronouncement, and it's purporting to cancel the 100 NEC meeting, is against the constitution of the party, and is the party that has the neck of the party that has the right to determine the position of the national secretary. I wonder what your position is on this particular thorny issue that it seems to be, shredding and dividing the main opposition party.
Certainly, I agree with the chairman of the Board of Trustees. I also agree with the members of the National Working Committee who published their rejection of the position of the acting national chairman yesterday, wherein they indicated clearly that the acting national chairman does not have the power to cancel or cancel NEC or to recall anybody. Honestly, what Damagum is doing is absurd. It's completely outrageous. This kind of coup, this kind of overstretching of power has never been experienced in the PDP, where a national chairman, in fact, an acting national chairman, who ought to have vacated office a long time ago, will be usurping the powers of the NWC, usurping the powers of NEC, and going on air to make pronouncements. This is the height of irresponsibility, I must say, with due respect. But it is wrong, it is unconstitutional, and he is not in any way acting with the mandate of members of the party. That your acting national chairman does not give you power to usurp the powers of all the organs of the party. You are only acting as a messenger of the party, a messenger of the members of the party, and NEC is supreme to the NWC. Every action of the NWC is subject to the powers of NEC. So when somebody like Damagum wakes up from sleep and calls a media conference and makes pronouncements, that should be checked and that should be rejected outrightly. This party has gone through a lot of hiccups because of Damagum. And I'm so sad that a character like that, who ought to respect the structures of the party, every day wakes up to cause one problem or the other. We have been shouting and saying it over and over, but people thought that maybe some of us were interested in his office. For God's sake, an acting national chairman should be more circumspect more careful about what he does so that he doesn't destroy the party. What he's doing, waking up and consulting maybe 2 or 3 of his friends and then making pronouncements on behalf of the party is wrong. It's illegal. It's unfounded in any of the statutes that set up the party. And nobody should allow that to happen. I'm so happy that the Board of Trustees have put their feet down on this. And NEC should hold on Monday. I don't see how Damagum, in consultation with 1 or 2 of his friends, can take over the party and run it as if it is their company. It is wrong. And the law does not allow him to do so. And I'm happy that all the organs of the party, including the other members of the National Working Committee, 13 of them out of 19, have said, no, you don't have the power to do that. And they are right. Some of us are also members of NEC. We are saying with a loud voice that Damagum does not have the power to cancel NEC and also to order somebody to come and take office when NEC is supposed to take a decision on that on Monday. He cannot usurp the powers of NEC. He doesn't have that power. And we are waiting to see whether he will force himself on all of us.
Then what might be your position on the Supreme Court judgment that reinstated Mr. Sam Anyanwu as National Secretary of the party?
There is no Supreme Court judgment that reinstated Sam Anyanwu. I've heard Mr. Wike say such things. There is no paragraph of that judgment that says that Anyanwu has been reinstated. What the Supreme Court said clearly is that the issues of officials of the political party are entirely domestic matters of the political party, that even the courts cannot intervene. And that decision followed several other decisions in the past. So the Supreme Court could not have said so and then come and reinstate Anyanwu. There is no paragraph or no section of that judgment that reinstated Anyanwu. When people shout and say the Supreme Court reinstated Anyanwu, they should read the paragraph to the media. If I knew you had this, I would have brought a copy of the judgment. I have it. There is no portion of that judgment that reinstated Sam Anyanwu. It's a lie. The Supreme Court made it clear that the party should go back and take decisions on what it wants. And communicate that to all those who matter, INEC inclusive. So INEC, ICPC, ESCC, or anybody cannot appoint a secretary for the PDP. It is the PDP through NEC that can appoint a secretary. And when that decision is taken, INEC will be under obligation to respect that decision.
All right. The different interpretations to the judgment may also be part of the problem, but we must thank you very much for your time and your contributions on this particular subject. We've been talking with the National Legal Advisor of the PDP and member of the former National Legal Advisor of the PDP and member of the National Working Committee of the party, Mr. Matt Jacob. Thank you very much for your time on the program.
Thank you.
And from here, we'll touch on Lagos governance. Yes, we're at home. So many issues agitating your mind as far as governance in Lagos is concerned. This is the time for you to sit back and, of course, hear directly from the government. So stay with us. We'll be right back.